All right, it's podcast time. It is Thursday, September 21st. I am Chris Hodge. This is the Taking Vegas podcast. The first day of fall. Summer is officially over, but things are just beginning to heat up over here. I have some free picks for the weekend. Going to give you a free pick on tonight's Giants 49ers game as well. And most importantly, try to make this entertaining. So before we get to the free picks, before we get to our new segment here that we're doing, which is called Scary Games to stay away from, let me just touch on what the hell is going on with the Chicago Bears. Let's just go with that, okay? So I'm not even going to get to the defensive coordinator who got his FBI, who had his house raided by the FBI. We'll do that second, all right? Let's go with Justin Fields blaming the coaches for robotic play. Blaming the coaches. Now, if this isn't what a 22, 23, 24-year-old kid is in this day and age in the United States of America, I don't know what is. Things don't go well, blame someone else. That's what these kids do nowadays. And this is what this guy is doing. And it's the funniest thing to me because there's a video going around online, right? And I actually witnessed the play live. So, Justin Fields against Tampa Bay literally had every wide receiver open on a certain play. He actually had a guy running up the seam who, if he just throws the ball to him, it is a wide open touchdown. Wide open touchdown. If you look at the camera behind Justin Fields, everybody is open. Now, I don't know if some of these players understand the coach's role and the player's role. I don't know. But the coach's role is simple. Design a play where you get everyone open. If you did that as a coach, you did your job. Okay? Very, very simple. You did your job. The player's job is to execute the play that the coach drew up. Everyone is wide open. Coach did his job. Justin Fields decided not to throw the ball. Do you know why Justin Fields decided not to throw the ball? Because Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. I'm not trying to hurt the kid. I'm not trying to say anything negative that is whatever. Not one team right now, not one fan of one team would want Justin Fields as their starting quarterback. Not one. Not one. Literally zero. He is not a good quarterback. He never was a good quarterback. He never will be a good quarterback. If he couldn't run, he would be absolutely useless. We all know this. But the talking heads on TV try to speak particular people up for whatever their reasons are. All right? When you have 5 wide receivers wide open and you decide to take a sack and then you have the balls to turn around and blame coaches for robotic play, it's just what the times we're living in. Take responsibility. I have to play better. Take responsibility. I'm missing all these guys. I'm turning the ball over. I'm taking sacks. Take responsibility. Because I guarantee you when it's time to get paid, he's going to want his money. Now, I don't know if anyone would give it to him like Zach Wilson. No one's giving Zach Wilson money. Here's another guy. No one wants Zach Wilson as their starting quarterback. No one. Not one of you would choose those 2 quarterbacks to be your starting quarterback if you had a choice. Not one of you would put your life on the line for those 2 starting quarterbacks to go win a football game. Not one of you. I wouldn't even put my life on the line for Justin Fields to just throw a complete pass. I don't even know if he could do that. Just complete a pass 10 yards down the field. So we have Justin Fields blaming the coaches. Now we get to the defensive coordinator, Alan Williams, who had his house raided by the FBI. Now, there's a lot of stuff going around. It's not good. But I don't understand why this happens to certain teams. Like, I don't get it. First of all, how does he even get the job? Right? How does he even get the job? Where is the vetting process? right? Like, what happens? Why does he get the job? That's number one. Number two, you're a defensive coordinator in the NFL. I actually coach a semi-pro team. Now, we play in the National Public Safety League. Now, my wife comes on all the road trips. She loves to travel, but she literally hates the time of the year, and we play in the spring. She hates it because I am so obsessed with a semi-pro team. I'm the offensive coordinator. I want to do well. I want my players to perform well. I want to have a good game plan. I literally talk to my wife less during that time of the year than I do now when I'm working 14-hour days. That's the truth. Where do these guys have the time to do something stupid? I don't get it. You're a coach in the NFL. And you know why? That's why the Bears suck. Because you got a quarterback who blames coaches. You got a coach who goes and gets his house raided by the FBI. That's why you suck. If you didn't fall into a great defense in 1985, you would have never won anything. Ever. Ever. And you screwed that up. You should have had a defense that was dominant for years. You won one. So that's the Chicago Bears rant. We're doing a new segment here on the podcast, calling it Scary Games. Cue the music. You all should know this theme song. If you don't know this theme song, I'll be very upset. But these are some scary games right here. Now, last week, we told you there was a couple games to stay away from. Now, these games were in the NFL. Detroit was a sucker play. We said it on Sports Investors Daily. I said it on the podcast. Stay away from this game. They go and lose outright to Seattle. You know why they lose outright to Seattle? Because they're friggin' Detroit. They don't know how to win. Everyone saw them beat Kansas City because Tony couldn't catch a pass. And all of a sudden, Detroit's a 4.5-point favorite. And they lose to Seattle. We also told you the Giants. The sucker of the sucker. Yeah, they came back and won. But who the hell are the Giants to be laying 4.5 points? I don't care if they're playing Arizona. That was a sucker bet. So those were two scary games we told you to stay away from. Now, we're going to focus on college here. All right? There are 4 very scary games that I would stay away from, starting with Florida State and Clemson. Florida State's only a 2.5-point favorite against Clemson. Really? Clemson lost 28-7 to Duke. Duke, not Duke basketball, Duke football. Florida State is insanely better than Clemson. Insanely better than Clemson. Florida State pasted LSU. And you mean to tell me they're only a 2.5-point favorite as the number 4 team in the country playing an unranked Clemson team that's living off their name? Everyone in the world should bet FSU in that game. And watch, FSU will find a way to screw that game up. That's a game you stay away from. Here's another one. BYU went to Arkansas last week. Now, Arkansas is not ranked, but Arkansas is an SEC football team. They won that game outright as a 9-point underdog, 38-31. Now you mean to tell me that they are getting the same amount of points from Kansas? Not Kansas basketball. Kansas football. So they went to Arkansas and won as a 9-point underdog. Now they're 8.5, 9-point underdog again to Kansas, who only beat Nevada by 7. Tricky game. Tricky game. Right off the top, you would look at BYU, but tricky game. Here's another one. In the Pac-12 or the Pac-2 or the Pac-None or whatever you want to call it. UCLA and Utah. UCLA number 22. Utah number 11. Line opens up. Utah minus 6.5. Goes to minus 4.5. Right now, Thursday morning. What time is it right now that we're doing this? 10:31 in the morning. That's what the line is. Line dropped from 6.5 to 4.5. Utah beat Florida at home. Florida just destroyed Tennessee. Both teams are 3-0. The lower-ranked team is getting more action here with a line drop 2 points. Very scary. Very scary. That's probably a game you want to stay away from. And the scariest of the scare, the line that literally they're doing it again. Now, I know this team has a star football player out. I get that. But Colorado was once again a 21-point underdog. They were a 21-point underdog a few weeks ago against TCU. They won that game outright. Oregon only beat Texas Tech by 8, and they needed a miracle to do that. Remember, there was a defensive score that covered that game. They only beat Texas Tech by 8. Now they're giving 21 points to the number 19 team in the country that has a chip on their shoulder. Everyone in the world is going to want to bet Oregon in that game because they just feel Oregon's supposed to blow them out. It's a game I'd stay away from. These are scary games. Let me tell you, there's an under-the-radar game. There's a hidden gem type of game that is really good on Saturday. So we'll be talking about that on Sports Investors Daily. But these 4 games, scary games. FSU, Clemson, BYU, KU, UCLA, Utah, Colorado, and Oregon. Every game here, scary games. Let's get the free picks for tonight. I'm gonna give you guys 3 free picks here, okay? So we'll start off with the Giants in San Francisco tonight. Obviously, everyone knows Saquon Barkley is out. But the Giants, I think they're really going to have a hard time, stopping San Francisco. It's a home opener for San Francisco. They got a wonderful offense. The Giants just gave up 28 points to an Arizona team that not one of you can name one player on their offensive team if you don't watch them every day. Like, if you're just a common fan, you don't know anyone. The Giants gave up 28 to them. So I think the game's going to go over tonight. So first play, Thursday, over 43.5, Giants and 49ers. Free play number 1. Free play number 2, we're going to go over to Saturday. All right, now this one's going to keep you up a little late. My apologies. But I do believe it is a winner. I like the game. We're going to actually be giving this game out for free as well on the Sports Investors Daily Radio Show, which airs every Saturday and Sunday morning. We're going to go with the under in the Kent State-Fresno State game. This game started at 51.5 and is now down to 48.5, again, as of Thursday morning when we're doing this show, doing this podcast. Under 48.5 Kent State and Fresno State is the free pick in college football. And, God bless my soul for Sunday, man. I did a podcast a few weeks ago. If you haven't listened to it, it's the top 5 most cursed franchises in the NFL. Going to go with the New York Jets. I know they haven't beat New England in forever. In 8 presidencies, they haven't beat the New England Patriots. All right? But I think the Jets finally end that streak. It's tough to go with Zach Wilson, man. It really is. But I just think the Jets defense will play well at home. I don't trust the Patriots at all. Plus 2.5 Jets. So there's your 3 free picks for the weekend. Over Giants 49ers for Thursday. Under Kent State for Saturday. And then Kent State, Fresno State. And then we go to the New York Jets on Sunday. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to the podcast. Be sure to check out takingvegas.com. We have more free picks available there. You can call us anytime for free picks as well. Be sure to listen to Sports Investors Daily every Saturday and Sunday morning. And have a blessed Thursday, everyone. Fall starts today. It starts to get a little colder. The leaves start to change and drop. Sweatshirt weather, baby. That's what I say all the time. Have a great Thursday, everyone. We'll catch you back here next week on the Taking Vegas podcast.